Hello gamers, it's SoftKitty99 and today we're in the Battle for Azeroth PTR for patch 8.3 and we can see the Mechagnomes and the Vulpera. So let's take a look at the customization for the Mechagnome, shall we? So let's start with the boy. Let's give you a little bit of a spin. I like the cone hairdo actually, I think that's quite good. So you've got metal around your head, so you can have metal ears and metal eyes, and you can have metal arms and metal legs. I don't think there's an option to have both human parts and robot parts on your arms and your legs, which I'm kind of a little bit sad about. I would have kind of liked to keep one human arm, especially for like using your weapon and stuff. I just think that would have been kind of cool to have that option. But let's take a look at what you've got here, shall we? So if we click on more information, oh yes, it has been implemented. Let's take a look. So Mechagnome. Though they once sought to mechanise themselves completely, the Mechagnomes now seek a balance between flesh and steel. Emerging from years of isolation on Mechagon, they bring both ingenuity and aptitude to the Alliance. See this with this balance between flesh and steel. I would have liked them to have more human parts or less human parts, depending on how far through the process they've already gone. Whereas you've got to have both arms and both legs regardless if you want to be a Mechagnome, so it would have been just nice to have that bit more option. So you've also got all the standard information about the different classes that you can see over here. So let's take a look. If you want to be a Mechagnome, you can be a warrior, a hunter. Oh look, you get a mechanical dog. Oh, that's cute. Oh, it might be worth rolling a hunter just for that. I've got too many hunters already though. Oh. Rogue, priest, mage, warlock and monk. Oh, you can be a monk. That's quite interesting because we found the monks in Pandaria and the Mechagnomes have been isolated for a lot longer than that, so the fact that we can have monk gnomes doesn't quite fit, I think, with the idea of the mythology sort of history timelines, does it? Because the monks should have been isolated from where the Mechagnomes are. But that's interesting. So you can be, see, I got distracted well by this, didn't we? So you can be a warrior, a hunter, a rogue, a priest, a mage, a warlock or a monk. So let's take a look at the customization options. So let's start with the boys. So skin colour, let's have a look. Oh, it changes the metal. So there we've got a sort of goldy metal. His skin is changing a tiny bit of a shade, but not, it's not a huge difference, is it, with his actual real skin? Okay, that one's a bit browner and the other one, the very first one's really white. So yeah, there's a bit of a difference between the, see if you look at his nose, look, that's quite brown and the next one is quite white. So although the individual jumps from one to the next don't seem to be a big scale, by the time you've got to the bottom there is quite a bit of a difference on his skin, so yeah, that's okay. And then so you've got a whole range of skin options with the gold metal, and then you've got presumably the whole range again with the sort of silvery metal. Yeah, so it's got quite dark again there, look. So yeah, his skin does change a bit. And then oh, it's what, oh, this is kind of a bronzy, rusty sort of looking. So we've got gold, silver and bronze tints to the metal bits, and then you've got, like, let's see, how many options is it? So it's from the very pale, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 variations on the human skin and 3 variations on the metal skin. So that's 15 combinations, so that's actually quite a lot of choices, isn't it, for your colours? Let me just give you a quick scroll back so you can see the variation in the colours. Yeah, so you can see a bit of a change in his skin tone as well. So yeah, so you can be gold, silver or bronze, depending on which you prefer. Is there a... I'm going to jump ahead because I can't see his face from all the metal. I'm just wondering if you look at the modifications, if there's one way you can see more face, so that we can see better variation for that. Ah, there, look, we've got a complete face now, so we can look at the face variations this time. So let's scroll to the top. So let's look at his face. He's got quite large, sort of soulful, cute eyes almost, isn't it? Oh, very different cheekbone structure there, look. So he's like sunken cheekbones there, so that's a big change to the first. See, that's more baby face. That's a bit more older, or a little bit thinner and haggard and careworn maybe. He's got little crinkles at the side of his eyes there, so that's sort of a mid-age. That's quite a baby face again there, isn't it? And then again, so you've got quite a bit of variation there in the faces. Did his nose just... Yeah, and his nose changes, look. So you've got quite an angular one there, quite a round nose there, slightly downturned there, more rounded, downturned, and then quite a big sort of... They've got quite big chunky noses, haven't they, most of these? There's only one that's not a really huge... I mean, it's still a huge nose, but because it's got the lines, it makes it look like a little bit smaller than most of the other options. Some of them, they look really big, don't they? Okay, hairstyles. I quite like this cone style. Oh, so bald. Mad Professor hair, maybe? Sticking out. Cone head. I quite like cone head. Oh, another Mad Professor hairdo, look. I have stuck my finger in an electrical socket and this is what happened to my hair. They've got some crazy hairdos, haven't they? Oh, look, that's sort of a... actually, I'm not quite sure. That's a bit like a modified cone head, but do you know, that slightly reminds me of that 50s hairdo, the rock and roll quiff hairdo. It's a modification of that, really, isn't it? And then the slicked back, slightly more untidy cone head. Yeah, so I quite like the I think you gathered which one's my favourite. I like cone head. Hair colour. Oh yeah, let's have cone head because that'll show us hair colour quite well, won't it? So let's scroll to the top. So we've got black and greyish and brownish and white and sort of reddish shades of brown, and then a blondish colour. So that's the most blonde one, and that's a red. That's the most red. Then that's a brown, white, brown, grey, and black. So we've got a dark brown and light brown and various shades of grey and red and things. Right, I'm going. Do you know what? I'm going to go to the red because do you know, I always seem to look at gnomes with red. I don't know why. I think it's the slight semi-Scottish accents that you sometimes hear on the characters. Right, so facial hair. No hair. Great big moustache. That sticks out. That moustache is almost as big as the character, isn't it? Oh, a little twirly villain moustache. The slightly saggy moustache. Oh, that's quite a villain makeup sort of do, isn't it? With the big handlebar moustache. Is that the way... That's the way it's described, isn't it? And then with a little beard on that one. So that's the only option with the beard, isn't it? And then that's a bigger droopy one. That is the only one with a beard, isn't it? Yeah, that's the only one with a beard. And the others are all different variations of moustache or no moustache at all. So if you want a beard, you've got to go for that one. And if you want the biggest moustache available, I think it's the seriously sticky out one. But that looks quite villainous. And that looks like a real stereotypical caricature villainy moustache. I can't like it though. Right, modifications. Oh, this is where we get to the metals. Right, so he's got no modifications to his face on that and head on that one. And then we've got ears. I'm not sure I like the textures on those. The textures look a bit flat, don't they? Oh, there's ears with antenna. Oh, I quite like the idea of the antenna. And again, I think that feels like it should have a bit more... Not enough... Feels a bit pixelated, doesn't it? There should be a bit more detail in that. Because if you look at the detail on his robot shoulders, should these ears not be a bit more detailed? Oh, mind you, we're still on the PTR, so maybe these textures are going to improve. So, yeah, forgive me for criticising the textures. Maybe we're still in progress, actually, because we're on the PTR. Because this texture compared to this texture is not good, so I think this is still worked on probably, isn't it? So then you've got like little cone ears without the antenna. So they're bigger round, but they've not... Yeah, they're bigger round than these, but they don't have the antenna. So there's quite a lot of variation, actually, on the options. So here you've got your normal ears, but you've got eyes and kind of the front part of your skull. And of course all these will change colour with the skin colour options. Now you've got the ears and the face. And the right, so we're going to have, so you've got the ears first, and then you've got the face option with the various ears. So that'll be, yeah, that's the different ears. And then we've got a new set of goggles here, look. So just eye goggles, and then you've got a bit of your like your lower jaw. If you're going to go with the lower jaw, you don't want the beard probably, because that looks like it's just clipping through, which looks really odd. So if you want the jaw, I wouldn't recommend going for the one with the beard. That's probably why there's only one with the beard, because of the jaw options. Yeah, and then we're going cycling through the different ear options with the goggles and the jaw, and then we change to a different faceplate. Hang on, let's look at the two different faceplates. So this is a how does it? Right, so this one doesn't cover as much of the skull, does it? Yeah, see this one goes further back up the head than the one at the bottom. The one at the bottom sits a lot further forward, so he's got this bit of forehead above it. So those are your options, right? So arm upgrades, right? So arm upgrade. So let's take a look at this, right? So I can get a good look at it, right? So I do quite like this cog. It's quite nice, isn't it? And they've got 3 fingers on the hand there. Yeah, so that's just like a real arm replacement. Oh, this one's like a more glove-like hand, isn't it? Yeah, so I don't think the shoulders are changing, but the hands are changing. This is like a mechanical claw. And that's a mechanical claw with bigger, chunkier pieces on it. So you've got the 2 colour things. So let me just cycle back up there. So that's a claw with the solid 2-tone. That's the more thinner grade down the bottom claw, and then you've got the thicker, almost glove-like hand, and then the more finer hand there, or thinner, finer. Which one's a better word? I'm not quite sure which one's a better word. I kind of like the chunky one, because that gives you the 2-tone comparison here. So you've got the gold and the silver sort of united, whereas if you go for the other one, it's nearly all the silver, but it's all less an aesthetic thing. So you've got a bit of the gold, but there's less gold showing than there is on that one. See, so it's all quite an aesthetic thing, right? So this is a leg upgrade. I can't see the legs very well because we're very close in on the. Can I get it to go back? Can I then do the leg? Oh no, it zooms me in. See, now to look at the legs, I really want to be further back because I can't see his legs very well because they're hidden by the nameplate and things, aren't they? There's only 2 options, and I can't. Oh, that's a shame. Right, hang on. If I zoom back, so the foot is quite a chunky gold, and they've got like cogs on the base. This is where the soles of your shoes would be, aren't they? And then sort of silver bits up here. And then if we go leg upgrade, and then we jump to the second one, and then zoom back out, can we see the difference? What's the difference? So there's gold up here, and then there's gold down here on legs. So let's zoom to there, and then zoom back. Let's go back out. What's the difference? Oh, right, so there's a big, this has got like a cog for the knee, and doesn't have all the gold at the top of the leg. So the first, so one option's got more gold here, and the other one doesn't. So the top one is more delicate, looks, it's like a little cogwheel for his knee, and if we change it, look, he's suddenly got this big gold like 5 plate on it, so it looks like it's, maybe you could say, is more armoured with these options. So depending on which side you want to go, so if you're a warrior you might want to go for the big thick options because it looks like you've got more armour on your character, and then if you want to be a rogue, maybe you go for the more delicate one to give you more manoeuvrability and stealth, maybe. Anyway, those are the options for the boys. Let's have a quick look at the girls. I would imagine most of it is pretty similar. So if we look at the skin colour, yeah, it's the same options for the skin colours again, look. So you've got like 4 or 5 different shades, so going light to dark, and you've got the different colours. So you've got the light bronze colour on the legs and things, and then you've got the mainly silver on the arms and legs, and then the mainly gold on the arms and legs again, just like the men, which is kind of expected, isn't it? Let's take a quick look at the face. The girls are going to have different faces, obviously. There's the very cute, sweet little gnome face. That's exactly the same as I have on my gnome mage. Oh look, it's got the eyes are very like mascara and a bit of eyeshadow, so you've got the very cute face again. Now you've got the more aged, wrinkly girl. You've got like freckles and things again here. Yeah, so I think these are mainly based on the same sort of faces that you've got on the gnome girls traditionally. So the hairstyle's different though, because this looks a bit like a... The front bit here looks like a kind of a 50s curly hairstyle, where they sort of rolled the hair. That looks like one of those 50s hairdos, doesn't it? So the hairdos are definitely different. Let's take a look. Right, so you've got the pigtail. That's the very traditional. That's what I've got on my gnome. So you have got some of the traditional hairdos, but there's the very rolled... No, not when I said 50s, I actually mean 40s, don't I? You see this in a lot of the 40s movies on, like, RAF women and things in the RAF offices and things, with these war films from the 40s. This kind of curled, rolled hairdos. Yeah. That's nice that we've got new hairdos, look. I kind of like that one, actually. Oh, gosh. Can you imagine? That's real fancy piled on top of her head, isn't it? So this kind of inspired by glam 40s hairdos, then. It looks like it, doesn't it? Because that front's rolled and then you've got the long hair down the back. Yeah, I think that's probably what they're inspired by. Yeah, so there's lots of rolls and curls in here, look. Oh, I quite like this. Oh, look at that. It's a cogwheel. It's still curled and rolled, look, but she's got like a cogwheel hairband. Oh, I like that. That's nice. That's a nice option, that is. Oh, look, we've got a cone head for the girls too. Cool. They've got little curls again here. At the side. Quite long and curly there. So that's the girls' hairdos. I do like the touch with the cogwheel there. So is that the only one that's got cogwheel? Like a cogwheel accent? I think it might be. Oh no, look, the buns of... Oh, look, the pigtail girl's got cogwheels on her as well. Oh, cool. Let me just double check if any of the others have got cogwheels. Yeah, the ponytail's got a cogwheel on. Oh, that's cool. Oh, I like that. That's a nice touch on the hairdos. I like that. I love the girls' hairdos. I absolutely love this playing around that's been done with the styles and things. And they've gone with that sort of 40s curled hairstyle thing and run with it for lots of the different options. Look, even down to the little curls on this one. Oh, I like it. And the cogwheels, I love it, absolutely love it. I think that's really cool the way they've done that. Right, hair colour. So again, I imagine they'll be the same. So if you've got the blonde, then you've got the red, and then the slightly lighter red brown, and then the grey, the dark brown, the sort of darker shade of grey, and then the black. Cool, very cool. Right, modifications. Let's take a look, see if the girls have got something similar. So nothing. Ears. Yeah, those antenna ears. And then the round ears. And then the face plate. If this follows like the guys, this one will come up higher, and then there'll be a later option that doesn't come up quite so high. With the ear, yeah, and then the different variations of the ears, and then you've got the lower jaw and the eyes, and then they'll cycle through the ears. Yeah, there we go, cycle through the ears, and then there's the face plate that doesn't cover quite as much, so you can see some of the skin, and then we'll cycle through the ears again. Yeah, that's cool. Right, arm upgrades. I would imagine these will be the same as the guys. Yeah. So you've got the more delicate finger, and then the more armoured hand, and then the more delicate claw, and the more armoured claw. Yeah, so that's the same. And the legs, I would imagine, are the same. If we can... Right, we'll zoom back a bit so we can see. So yes, there's the more delicate top with the cog. And then if we go to the next one, that will be the more armoured version of it. And there you go, that's a more armoured version of the leg. So that is the customization options that are available for the Mechagnomes. Hope you've enjoyed today's episode. Please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. From SoftKitty99, goodbye and happy gaming!